The king's back. The king's back. The king's back. The king's back.
Whew, all right.
The king's back. 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 The king's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is my Wednesday vlog where I come on to talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. Where's my camera at? As y'all can see, I'm at Studio C, aka home of the pop culture warrior, aka CQ. He's allowing me to use his studio right here. You can see his branding and stuff down there. Go check him out for all things pop culture warrior on WTF Nation Radio Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. But enough about him, because he's beneath me. Y'all are here for me. And I said that with him sitting right over there. Y'all, thanks for popping in. I'm a little bit late for my Wednesday vlog, as I have an event that I go to every first Wednesday of the month. And typically that runs into when I do my live streams here on Wednesdays as well. And I thought about canceling today, but I didn't want to just talk about it where I say, you know, do the things that you have to do regardless, and I don't do it myself. So tonight, I'm not going to be here that long. I am going to get my live stream off, and we're going to keep it casual. We're going to keep it casual. What I do want to talk about is something that has been on my mind, something that I have expressed to some other people, and, you know, just kind of ask them what they thought about it. And I'm going to ask y'all, the viewers here as well, what y'all think about it. But before I do, I need to fix one thing before I continue here. And because I'm supposed to be streaming on my personal Facebook page as well. It says that I'm live. I can see it, but I don't see how I make it so that everybody else can see it. But we're going to sit here. I'm going to try this thing here. Can y'all see me if y'all are watching on my personal Facebook page, the one that just says King Smith, not the actual King Smith? I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. Tell me out there, internet, because I need to know. I do see a comment that says, hey, handsome. Hey, baby. That's my lady, aka Michelle Early. It is Teacher Appreciation Week this week. So for those of y'all that know a teacher, have a teacher, love a teacher, respect a teacher, let them know that you appreciate them by doing a small gesture. Just say thank you. A thank you's enough. If you do want to give gifts, I'm pretty sure they'll take those too. But at least say a thank you. Let any of the teachers in your lives know that you appreciate them, as they do a job that, in my opinion, are severely underpaid. I don't know how you could pay all of the teachers that are out there, but they do a job that, to me, they are severely underpaid for. So shout out to all of the teachers here for Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm going to assume that this thing is streaming, that people can see it, and I'm going to get started. I had a really good conversation with my daughter today. My daughter is about to graduate her last year of high school. She's a high school senior, about to be an upcoming college freshman. And we had a really good conversation today as we were talking about this week and everything that's going on, because she's running into her prom. Then right after prom, she's got freshman orientation at the college. And right after that, she's graduating. And we're fortunate enough to have family and loved ones that are going to be able to fly or drive up here to attend my parents' only grandparents as of right now. And it was something about that conversation that really stood out to me. I'm starting to hear her independence. When I was her age, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, like to a T, because I thought I was going to play college ball somewhere. And that didn't work out quite the way that I wanted to. So I enlisted, did the delayed entry program, and joined the Air Force pretty much right after high school. I graduated in May-ish time frame, or whatever they graduate in Alabama. Had the summer home, and then enlisted September 10, 2002. So almost a year, and almost really right to the year for the 9/11 tragedy that had occurred here in the U.S. So for most of my early adulthood, I was in the military. I had sergeants and officers telling me what to do, where to be, things like that. And I got trained up to be an in-flight refueler, commonly called, technically called a boom operator, or an in-flight refueler on the KC-135. And had some really good years doing that. Had some fantastic years doing that. That job allowed me to see the world, learn a lot more than what just the state of Alabama had to offer, and really got a chance to see what the world had to offer. And it opened up my eyes. But that was my early adult life. I left the house at 18, and for the most part, never looked back. I did need some help from my parents from time to time. Reached out for guidance, reached out for some financial support, got married early, and did a lot of my 20s doing just that, learning, still in the military, still had people that were mentors and things that really helped me, shape me to be the person that I am now. But I was still trying to find myself. And I'm looking at my daughter, and I was having the conversation that I had with her today. And initially I was concerned. I'm not going to say all the way concerned, but I was like, man, when I compare, and I shouldn't do that, because, there's a lot of factors that are just different. But when I compare how I was at least prepared around this time, and when I look at her, I see things that are just different. Not bad, not good, just different. And that different is concern. For example, when I was graduating high school, both my mom and my dad were still together. Happily together is a whole different story, but they were together. So at least when I graduated, I had both of my parents in the same home. My daughter doesn't get that. She doesn't get to have two parents that are, in the same home. And we're functioning great, in my opinion, as co-parents. I've definitely heard and seen some worse situations out there. So I don't really have a lot to vent about or complain about or really any negatives around that front, at least for what we're doing for her. It did not stunt her. She finished her entire high school with all A's. I think she might have had one B her ninth grade year, but finished towards the top of her class. No issues with teachers, some issues with students, but not like in a bad way, just more haters, right? As young teenagers will often have from time to time, you'll have people that they just don't like you because they don't like you because of, I don't know, who you are, who your friends are, how you look. One day you can be friends with somebody, and it's weird how young teenage girl relationships are as well. Because I'm thinking about some of the people that I was solid with throughout ninth grade that continued through high school for the most part because I transferred schools. But young teenage girl relationships are just different. They could be playing with each other with dolls and stuff one day or whatever, eighth graders do, ninth graders do. And then 2 months of a summer will happen and they don't like each other. And, one person is gossiping, talking about the other one. I don't get that. So trying to help her navigate that, knowing that as you get older, it's going to get worse. Helping her navigate her first boyfriend, which I've shared with y'all that I was the last to know about that. And I felt some type of way about that. I'm not saying that if we were in the same house, I still wouldn't have been the last one to know, but having that extra degree of separation didn't feel too good. So then I'm like, well, on one hand, stubborn me kind of wants to go, oh, well, since you want to navigate things without your father's guidance, go over there and do that. And when things go, wrong, or if they go wrong, don't come to me. Don't come to me. Dad didn't find out until the last minute. I sometimes think that way, and I'm a lot better about not doing that now. But while I was enlisted, I might have been a petty officer if I was in the Navy, because sometimes I can be petty like that. But being a father is not about that. It is about allowing your kids to learn, grow, make mistakes, right? Live life, do their thing, and just be there for guidance. My parents were there for me for guidance. I relied on them even in my early 20s. And I have to joke because I called my dad before I asked my ex-wife to marry me. And if I would have had one person say don't do it, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I wouldn't be where I am today, having the same experiences that I have. So I just only say that as kind of an anecdotal joke. But I did rely on my dad for guidance, even though he was in the Army, right? He didn't know much about the Air Force. And it was a totally different time anyway. I still relied on some of that guidance. And as I was talking to my daughter and I'm hearing her be independent and thing, and I'm starting to see that shift, right? I'm starting to see that transition. It is my hope. It is my hope that she is going to be able to be a fully independent person that still relies on her parents from time to time for guidance. I like to think that I've helped facilitate trust where there's no judgment. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I am glad I didn't grow up in the smartphone era. There are some things that if it was recorded and published and posted, the things would have been harder to walk away from, or not be able to travel with you through your entire life, right? And it's different for them now, but I'm really hoping that what I saw from her today and how things are gonna go is gonna work well for her. But there are about to be some changes, whereas she was 5 to 10 minutes around the corner from me. when she goes off to college, that's not going to be the case. But even when she's not in college, she's not going to be around the corner from me anymore. So that's going to be different. That's going to be a bit of an adjustment. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. It's just there's being ready for it. And then there's, being a part of. Like, even if you can prepare, prep, and do like we did when we were in the military, train, 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 train. Even when you're training, going through it, you still have to experience it to be able to feel it, because what you experience when you're training is one thing, but what you experience when you're actually doing it is something else. I don't know how other jobs train for when they were out doing their jobs, but in-flight refuelers, before you go up in the air for the first time, you're training on the ground in a simulator. And the simulator was excellent training, but there's nothing like the real thing. And even when you're doing training for the real thing, it's still a controlled environment, right? You're up flying 500 miles an hour with another aircraft behind you, trying to offload this boom into this small hole and give gas. But then there's also what happens in real life as well. When you're doing a combat mission and there's troops in contact on the ground, and you've got to get this gas to an F-16 that is, helping keep the situation in your favor. And, there's there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But if you train for it, right, then it can make it easier. So that's what I'm hoping that I get to experience. It's like, hey, you know what? You were ready for this. You've trained for this. And now it's just time to live it while it's happening. So I wanted to share that today. I wanted to share that thought. And if there's any other fathers out there that have a similar experience or even have a different experience, really don't even have to be a father. You are an engaged parent in your kid's life, and you have some thoughts about this, put it in the comment section. Let me know. I read all the comments. I would love to see what other people's experiences were like, or if you have any advice, let me know. All right. That's my time today. That is it. I am about to relax a bit, get me a massage, and call it a night. Hope y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.